What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. I think I'm going to enjoy this little series that I'm going to do called Back to the Basics, because you don't get no more basic than the buy button disappearing, okay, on January 28th. So that's where we're going to start with the Back to the Basics series. And the purpose of this video is to help you to understand exactly why they took that buy button away. Alright? And you would holler, market manipulation! And all kind of other great shit that we like to holler throughout the last year and a half. But there was a reason why they took the buy button. And it's important for you to understand what that reason was. Once you understand what that reason was, then you will understand why they're doing it today. And you will understand why and how I came to my conclusion of rolling blackouts, financial rolling blackouts. Alright? And one of the first basic things, again, is the buy button. But before we could discuss the buy button, we're going to talk about Robinhood. Before we discuss the buy button, you're going to need to understand clearinghouses and what they are, how they work, and how they relate to this play, people. Okay, here we go. Clearinghouses. The first thing you need to understand about a clearinghouse is that they own the shares. They own the shares. The shares are held in this clearinghouse, and brokers are members of this clearinghouse, and as calls come in to the broker that somebody wants 100 shares of LMNOP. Okay? First thing the broker does is he puts a placeholder in your account. Now, by placeholder, what I mean is they're crediting your account 100 shares of LMNOP. Why? Because they've looked at their letters, they know what their books are, they know how many shares of LMNOP are held in this clearinghouse, so they know that they will be able to fulfill this order. So they go ahead and they give you this IOU until they can find a seller. But in the meantime, you have purchased 100 shares of LMNOP. What else does that mean? That means they still own the shares. Just on their books, it's called like a white sheet or something, they will write your name and say you are credited 100 shares of LMNOP. Once the broker assigns your account the amount of shares that you wanted to purchase, they send the order up to the clearinghouse. The clearinghouse gets with the brokers and they find someone who is looking to sell 100 shares of LMNOP. Once they do that, then the credited shares become actual shares. Now, part of the breakdown that's been going on in this play, as you know, is this clearinghouse can only have so many shares. Why? Because there's a bunch of different clearinghouses. And when someone calls in an order and they accredit that account with the share, they have 2 days to hook it up with a seller. If they can't, then these 100 shares is basically sold short. What do you mean, CSI? What I mean is they took the buy order, but they did not have the shares. So when the time comes and you hit the sell button and they don't have these 100 shares, they will have to pay you. Now, Robinhood is what's considered a self-clearing brokerage firm, okay? They clear inside themselves. They hold their own shares. They don't use a clearinghouse, all right? But the responsibilities are the same. But on Hackers News here, it says, why Robinhood disabled the buys but not the sales. This was written January 31st, 2021. And it says, everyone assuming a conspiracy theory needs to read this, okay? This was a capital crunch at Robinhood due to unexpected herd of new traders all looking to do the same thing in unison, which is what? Buy the dip. It violated the assumptions of their business model, and the only way to keep the platform from grinding to insolvency or violating regulations was to slow down the unexpected event by slowing meme stock purchases. Okay? And back over here, on our chart, we're going to talk about this is what was going on. The phone calls are coming in. Hey, I want to buy Elemental P. I want GME. I want AMC. And everybody is calling and they're putting the pressure on Robinhood. All right. And what happened was Robinhood basically ran out of supply. And orders were still coming in. And if you remember the story, they got to the point of when they finally got the call and they said, what's going on over there? How much are we down? $3 billion of orders that they had filled, and they just put the placeholders there. They have to cover them shares. And now they're panicking. They've taken so many orders, they don't know what to do. And the only solution they could come up with was to take the buy button, to slow down the orders that were coming in until they could process them, find enough shares to do what to continue to take the orders. So there was no nefarious shit going on. Let me pull up here and talk to y'all now. There was nothing nefarious going on. What was happening was that because of the meme stocks coming in so hard, orders coming in so hard, they could not process them in time, and they had to kill the buy button. Now, if you don't understand that, you can't follow this play. You can't understand what's going on right now, because that's how I figured out what's going on with the rolling blackouts. They're going from brokerage firm to brokerage firm, turning off the buy button. Why? Because they're under pressure. They cannot sell no more, or they will go bankrupt if something drastic happens. I know what that drastic thing is. We'll talk about that later. But you got to have the basics, people. No matter who is turning off their buy button right now, the purpose of them turning it off is that they're so over leveraged they just can, and there's nowhere else for them to run and hide. They have to turn the buy button off to control the pressure of the buy orders coming in, because they have no other alternatives. So there you go, rolling blackouts, the purpose of the buy button disappearing. And next we're going to be covering failure to delivers, because if you can understand how they've been wrong about the buy button all this time, then you have to start thinking, well, wait a minute, what about the rest of the shit they've been telling us for the last 2 years? You'll be surprised at the results. But I am totally convinced in the squeeze, people. The squeeze is nothing more than them going short, us going long, and we wait them out. But we have to understand the right context that everything is happening in if you're not going to get frustrated, angry, depressed, and so forth. So, understand this. If you need to watch it again, watch it again. Understand the purpose of the clearinghouses. Understand why they took the buy button. And then you're going to understand the next thing that they're going to be doing is taking your sell button. And I'll explain that in the next video. Love y'all. Be blessed. See you then.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine.